As long as I can remember, I've always loved to travel. And as I've gotten older, my adventures have become more and more grand. But so far in life, all of my trips have been with others. But this time around, I wanted to change that. So I took off on my biggest journey yet. Alone. Alright, time for an adventure. My first stop on the road was back home in Michigan, on the shores of Lake Superior, where I set off into the woods to backpack along the shoreline. So right now, I'm here, and I'm going over there, to that little campsite right there. This was my first time backpacking alone, and there's something kind of awesome about knowing you're carrying out everything you need all by yourself. I finally made it to Lake Superior, and it's absolutely gorgeous. With the quiet sound of my tears. I lived in Michigan for most of my life, but this will always just blow me away at how amazingly beautiful it is. It seriously is insane. Like, there's nowhere else in the world that is like this. Definitely feels like home. I'm still hiking, but I am hiking along the entire lakeshore now, which makes for an amazing view. And I still got about a mile left until I reach the campsite. And then I can get this backpack off of my back and relax for the night. Seriously, around every corner, you just get another amazing view of the lake. It's so hard to believe this is even real. And after a few hours of hiking, I had finally made it to my campsite and began setting up everything I needed for the night. I got my camp all set up, and now I'm gonna take a walk down to the lake and check out the beach. It is yet another day of travel, and it's raining right now. I just bought some ice from this tiny little gas station in the middle of nowhere, and need that for my cooler, but otherwise I'm just going to be driving all day. I have this waterproof bag that I put my ice in, so all of my stuff doesn't just get full of melted ice and get all wet. So that's never a fun time. So after all day of driving, I finally made it to Duluth, Minnesota. I've never been to Duluth before, and I had no idea that it was on a giant hill. So that's pretty neat. Got my roasted red pepper hummus, the best hummus that there is, and some pretzel crisps. Honestly, there's not a better combination out there. So last night was the first night that I slept in my car. And it was actually pretty nice, I can't lie. It was very comfy. The ceiling's a bit close, but other than that, I really have no complaints. The bed is nice. And I stayed pretty warm too. I have this heated blanket that plugs into the external battery that I have. And that actually got a little warm. And I also have this fan that like brings fresh air in from the sunroof. But the sunroof has a mosquito net over it, so no bugs get in. So it stayed pretty comfortable last night. Now I'm having some yogurt and some granola. And got all showered, ready for the day. And I'm gonna keep driving today. One of my goals on this trip was to visit the last two of the lower 48 states that I hadn't been to yet, North and South Dakota. So I began heading that way, and soon I made it. This is the world's largest catfish. I love the random things you come across on the side of the road. That's one big catfish. And after my catfish discovery in North Dakota, I've now officially been to all 48 states in the lower US, with the last one being South Dakota, the very scenic and very exciting state of South Dakota. So after driving all day, I finally made it to my campsite for the night. It's at this it's kind of like a dispersed campground in South Dakota. And it's right on this river, which is pretty cute. Good view. And there's a sunset. So that's always fun. So taking a road trip alone is something that I've wanted to do for a long time now. Like, seriously, for the past 4 or 5 years, I've wanted to take a trip by myself and just kind of see where it takes me. Another thing I really wanted to do was like get to know myself better. And I feel like when you're completely by yourself for an extended period of time doing something that you really enjoy doing, that involves like really going outside of your comfort zone. Even though I love to travel, this still is so far outside of my comfort zone. This first part of the trip, I mean, I've been on the road for 6 days now, but it's still just been so anxiety provoking just because I'm out here alone, and honestly, like, I really don't know what's gonna happen. And that's the part that freaks me out. Like, there's no second set of eyes watching when you drive. There's no second set of ears listening when you sleep. It's just you and yourself. And you just really got to fend for yourself. And that's like the freakiest part about it for me. And then just being like so far away from home too is kind of freaky, because everything that you have that's like your comfort stuff is far away. There's been so many nights so far that I just almost wish that I was at home just for the night, but at the same time, then I would miss out on adventure if that's all I did. So it's kind of like a compromise that I've had to take, but it's definitely anxiety provoking as a result. It is neat though, getting to make these videos, because even though I'm alone, it doesn't necessarily feel like I'm alone, because I'm making content to share with other people, and I know other people are going to be able to experience some of the same adventure that I'm getting to experience right now just by watching, which is a really cool concept to think about. But at the same time, it is sad not having anyone to really share this experience with in person, and not having the same stories and the memories to share with each other after the trip is done. And like I said, I'm making content that I can share this experience with other people, and that's what I'm doing. And it sounds kind of weird, but I feel like I'm traveling on behalf of other people who might not get to, or might not be able to explore these same regions that I'm getting to explore. And that part of it is so cool to me, because people are getting to see areas of the world that they've never been, or they haven't seen in forever, or just a different angle of it completely. And I'm so glad that I get to share that with other people online. So right now the sun is setting behind me and it's getting dark, but I'm gonna make some dinner. I'm gonna head to bed for another day of adventure tomorrow. So we'll see where the journey takes me from here. Real quick before you go, I just want to say thanks so much for watching this video. I've put so much work into it, and this is just video 1 of a several video series of this whole road trip I took. So if you thought this was a fun video to watch, make sure that you subscribe if you're not already, because there will be more coming. I also want to say a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. They seriously help me out so much. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to help support future content, make sure you go check that out. And you can even get your name scrolling right here, like all of these people. And there's also a bunch of other benefits, like they got to see a preview of this video days before this was published. So make sure you go check it out. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon with more videos.